Hey folks, good morning from Circuit World in Blue Ridge, Georgia. You're gonna have to bear with me. Didn't get finished last night till midnight. So if you're asking why, oh, by the way, I'm your host, BKP. Good morning, Circuit World, Blue Ridge. We've got some tough weather coming in this weekend up here in North Georgia. So, all right, let me try to get this again, Josh. What do we have, Josh? Let's see. We had 7 innings. Help me do the math. We had 7, 11. That's 18. We had 25 innings of baseball in the last 2 nights. That's right. FYNTV.com. I want to give a big shout out to start. Lonnie Adams, Josh Ross on the production, and Rick. Rick will be here. Rick worked the table, checking the scorecard. He kept up the scorebook. Redan Raiders came over from Stone Mountain. The Fannin Rebels made it to the Elite 8. Yes, folks, the 2019 3A Region 7 champs will be at home right here in Fannin County next Wednesday night. They are in the Elite 8 of the GHSA State Playoff 3A. Did I get all that right, Josh? That was a lot. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm still calling the game, and I probably sound like it. Thank you, Dr. I needed that. Dr. Whaley over here, who are they playing? All right. Pike County's coming to town. I almost forgot. Pike County is coming to town. And what did you say, Josh? They're ranked what in the entire now all baseball, Georgia's baseball, they're ranked what? They're ranked like 29 in the entire state of all regions, okay? So, folks, you don't want to miss that, and you don't have to. It doesn't matter where you're at in the world out there. We'll have it on FYNTV.com. So let me move right along here. And I'll try not to make it sound like I've made the call. I will have to break that, Josh. I will have to say, okay, folks, we've got 2 minutes. We're going to go to break, and when we get back, Dr. Whaley's going to be in the box. He's leading off. I can't say that, right? That's what it'll sound. That's what it sounded like for the next couple of days. So, all right, let's see. There's impeachment fever in Washington, D.C. These people are nuts, okay? Now they want to impeach. Oh, to heck with Trump. Let's impeach William Barr, the Attorney General. I'm sorry, I just got to laugh that off. Barr just didn't break the other day in front of the Senate Judiciary Committee. He just didn't break. He didn't bow down to the political candidates, because remember, on the Senate Judiciary Committee, you have 3 2020 Democrat hopefuls, Kamala Harris, Amy Klobuchar, and Spartacus, right? Cory Booker. So Kamala Harris, I knew they were all going for their sound bites, but you know what? Barr did not crack. Now, we're going to get into this pretty deep on the Judiciary House side. And what I want to recommend is recommend, not right now, but when you get a chance, go to YouTube and pull up Republican ranking congressional member of the House Judiciary Committee, Doug Collins. And I want you to listen to that 6 minutes he puts up in the opening of yesterday's Dog and Pony show for the House Judiciary Committee. Now, Congressman Collins was on our show here not even 2 weeks ago, Josh. We talked about it then, and yesterday he put it out there. But I hate to say things like explain, but the House Judiciary Committee the members wanted to bring legal counsel in. And they wanted their legal counsel to ask the Attorney General, William Barr, questions. Now, they get 5 minutes each to ask questions, the members of the committee, but they wanted their legal counsel to have a full hour to just continually ask the Attorney General questions. Now, why did the Attorney General say no to that? I'll tell you why. Because that's what happens in a impeachment trial. Oh, yeah. When you go to the impeachment trial, that's a trial, there will be counsel there to ask questions. That's why he said no, number one. And bottom line is, So if you don't think they have impeachment fever in Washington, D.C., Barr didn't show up. Personally, I don't blame him. Now, we're going to have more of that on the All-Star Political Panel. Jane sent me a very good, just an awesome video this week I want her to talk about that we're going to discuss because, well, I don't want to bring it up right now. I got to leave something for you, right? So, All-Star Political Panel, Dr. Whaley, Ask the Doc, and our Pet of the Week, Jesse Barton, Senior, North Georgia Senior Living. Jesse Barton cannot be here today. She is traveling out of town. She's the Community Relations Director at Cameron Hall. But we'll have our Pet of the Week, and we'll take a break and come right back with our first question with Dr. Whaley.
Circuit World, with multiple locations to serve you in Murphy and Franklin, North Carolina, Blairsville, Blue Ridge, and Ellijay, Georgia. Locally owned and operated since 1985. Appliances, electronics, and furniture. Name brand products like LG, Samsung, Dell, Whirlpool, Ashley, Catnapper, and more. No credit check, only 10% down on furniture, and only $10 down on any new lease purchase. Mention FYN10 for your special deal today at Circuit World.
Ace is your helpful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in Ellijay next to Walmart. And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in Ellijay next to Walmart.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East Ellijay. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
All right, folks, we're back. It's top of the second inning, and Dr. Whaley is in here in the box, ready to take the swing of the question.
Absolutely.
I couldn't do it any other way, Doc.
That's
I've
right.
done it for 2 nights.
I got to take over. He's fatigued.
I'm telling everybody, just drag me through it. Hey, it's time for Ask the Doc with Dr. William Whaley. We want to thank Georgia Cancer Research Center, affiliated with Northside Hospital, for this segment. How are you today, sir?
Great. I'm going to take the ball and run with it now because you're tired.
No, that's football.
Well, no, I'm running out to relieve the guy.
Got it. We'll take that.
We're pulling the pitcher. All right. It's pouring down rain in Blue Ridge.
Yes.
The pollen count is falling. It's absolutely gorgeous, and there's not one hotel room or bed and breakfast room available for the weekend in Fannin County. We're entertaining a provider for our group, has to stay with my partner in her guest house. So Fannin County is buzzing this weekend. I don't know whether everybody came up here to watch high school baseball or whether they came up here to have spring in the mountains, but they're up here. So anyway, that's my introduction, and you can pick it back up now. How you go?
That's your introduction. Caught me off there. Okay, which question we going with?
We got to go with the second one there, the HPV. This is a very, very, very important question, and I'm gonna pull you out.
Here we have exactly some of the things you always ask you want in the question.
Exactly.
Big time. You always like the age and if it's a male or female. So I am 37. I am a 37-year-old female and my daughter is 16. She came home and said her friend received a shot to prevent cancer. She called it an HPV shot. Is this something I should get for her, and what about me? When should adults get the, what's that second big word?
Human Papillomavirus HPV vaccine.
Break that question down.
Okay, first thing I'm going to do is say, this is probably, in terms of preventable cancer, the most important question we've had here in 3 or 4 years. We always talk about preventing cancer by not smoking,
right,
preventing cancer by not being obese, preventing cancer by staying out of the sun and wearing sunscreen. We're talking about preventing cancer in a passive fashion. This, the HPV vaccine, is an active cancer prevention step that you can take that is dramatically important. So this is in 2 pieces, and my soapbox, they moved my soapbox because it's raining. Otherwise, I'd be standing on my soapbox. So Josh is going to put up, we've seen this before with different sorts of questions. This is recommended, okay, go ahead.
Recommended adult immunization schedule by age group. United States 2019.
Well, 2019, folks, is this year. So I'm not going to go through the top one, which is, you can see there's a lot of stuff there. I want to help you. You don't have to read it. But the top one's the flu. The third one's measles, when we're big on measles right now, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And the fourth one down there is that new shingles shot I told you about a few weeks ago for everybody over age 50. We're going to come back to number 3, which is our second question. So let's go down to here. Human papillomavirus is the next one down here, and it is recommended for all children and adolescents beginning at about age 12. So your daughter at age 16, right?
Yes.
Should have had this shot 4 years ago. But you asked about adults. So this is adults. Here you go. You got to get in here now. All right, that says 19 to 21, 23 through 26. Anybody that's in that age group, and I, by the way, just raised it up to here, so anybody that's in this age group of 50 and under, recommended male and female take the HPV immunization. One more time. Male and female.
Male and female.
It starts at age
Right.
19 because they figured that most kids have already gotten it by age 19.
Right.
This girl's 16. She's asking about adults. When should adults? That's what she said. I'm focusing on adults, folks. That's what she asked. Starts at age 19, goes to age 49. We're going to come back to that in a few minutes.
All right. When we come back to that, I want to know if you've not had the vaccine, why is it like they almost recommend after 50 don't do it? Why? I mean, you're going to cover that with me?
Well,
Am
after
I ahead of you?
Well, after age 50, you don't have a chance. If you've got the HPV virus in you and it's been there for 50 years, taking the vaccine isn't going to help you.
Now it's not preventative.
It's not preventative. This is a prevention we're talking about.
Right. Okay.
All right. This next one here, this has got. You see all these little tiny numbers? They go up to 52. There are actually 52 different strains of the HPV virus. Now, flu, there's hundreds and hundreds of flus. They say this year it's the H1N1 and the A2B2, all right, lots of strains. So they cause different things, from warts on your finger to what you would call venereal warts to ulcerations and so forth in your mouth, oral pharyngeal, cause all sorts of things that are not malignant but are troublesome. You still with me?
Yes.
All right, now we're going to go to the pyramids. Let's go to the big pyramid. These are cancers. This was a cancer question she asked, right?
Right.
If you look at the big pyramid, this is 530,000 cases of cervix cancer per year, the bottom of the pyramid.
Right.
We're going to come back to the top of the pyramid here in just a few minutes. But we're going to go next to this big arrow. You got it, Josh? This is sort of an estimation of the number of people who have the HPV virus and the number of cancers caused by the HPV virus over the period of the last 5 years. I mean, that looks like a national debt or something, doesn't it? Just a gigantic arrow up. So you want to ask yourself, how many people are we actually talking about here that have had or have HPV in their system? And interestingly enough, as I've said before, if you take herpes with the fever blister and everything else, by the time you get to your age 50, about 95% of the adult American population is infected with the herpes virus. The HPV virus is in about 70% of people by the time they get to age 50, 70%. So if giving you those shots in your teenage years or your 20s can prevent that number that's 70s by the time you get to age 50, we're going now to the top of the pyramid. Here, there is a rapid increase, as we said last week, wasn't it? We were doing head and neck cancer, or was it the week before that? These head and neck cancers used to be the World War II veteran smoking when he was 16 on D-Day and all that, got free cigarettes in his C rations, had a higher than average alcohol intake. So during my period of medical school, when the World War II veterans were in their 40s and 50s, virtually all the head and neck cancer we saw was in men, smokers, alcohol users, and there were tons of veterans. Today, it's 95% non-smoker, non-alcohol, HPV related. So this huge pyramid right there, plus that 530,000 cases that you've got over there, are all preventable. You can pull that off the screen. All preventable malignancies that could occur if people took the recommended vaccine, HPV vaccine, when they were in adolescence, or having missed it, take it now. But my soapbox is on the people who don't believe in taking vaccines, right?
I know.
Head and neck cancer, cervical cancer kills you. There is no statistical evidence. Nobody's ever actually linked HPV virus anyway to this autism or everything else that the expert panels.
Don't get us in trouble now. Things are going real well.
Expert panel conspiracy theorists think about vaccines. But the HPV vaccine does not have any known associated negatives with taking it. Now we're going to get into the parenting issue and into the psychological, ethical issue. When that vaccine was originally released, and the recommendations were to give it to all adolescents before the age of 12, sort of the conservative religious community said, wait a minute, you're giving this to these young kids because you are expecting them to be sexually active. And you are expecting them to be sexually active with multiple sexual partners. And this is sort of an anti-abstinence message. A healthcare professional doesn't really have a horse in that race. But we do have a horse in the race, the fact that after you get to age 50, the majority of the people in this country, 70% or more, are affected by the HPV virus. We do have a horse in the race that there are, close to 1 million cases a year of preventable cancer related to that virus. And it makes sense then that the population get immunized against that virus. So I'm staying out of that. You're giving it to them because you think they're going to be sexually active, and just stick with the pure epidemiologic medical explanation that it isn't going to hurt them and it might help them, and they aren't going to get autism, and let your kids have the vaccine. And this 37-year-old female is well within the group that ought to have the vaccine. Does that get her through there all right?
Yes, and I do want to highlight, as Dr. Whaley says, please, now send your questions. Info, I-N-F-O, at fetchernews.com. Send questions. You can post questions on our social media page. I know a lot of you see our Ask the Doc segment on social media, and you put questions there. We try to find them. But what Dr. Whaley likes to have, male, female, and age especially, and it helps you answer those questions more directly to the individual.
Right. Well, the next one's well written too because it's got occupation and exposure in it. So
let's go to our second question.
Right.
And before we do, we want to thank Georgia Cancer Research Center affiliated with Northside Hospital for this question. I am a 42-year-old male. I stepped on a nail at work. I am in construction. Everyone said I needed to go to the ER, but I think it's fine, and I wanted to know what are symptoms of tetanus. Did I get that right?
you did. Symptoms of tetanus are death. You like that one?
No, I actually, I'm gonna tell you my actual experience here when you're done.
Go ahead.
Okay, so, all right, I got all this, but not construction. Now, I used to work construction, get a nail. So stay with me here. I got to tell the first part of the whole story don't work.
All right.
So I'm 8 years old. So what I used to do for hours, no joke, is I'd go out and I would throw my baseball up on the roof of the house, and I couldn't see it. And see, this is why I was at that time, probably still could bat 400, but this is why I was awesome at 8, okay? So when that ball comes off the roof, I don't know where it's coming, and I can make that big play, right? So I'm running and jumping, making the big play. So we go to visit my grandmother, and I have a whole new roof configuration to work with. So I'm throwing the ball up on the roof, it comes down, I run and catch it. So one time I run and catch it, and I don't know it, there was a piece of wood, and it was a big 16-penny nail. And I go down flat on it as hard as I can. Sorry about that at home.
Tennis shoes went right through the sole.
And through the top of my foot.
Yeah.
All right, so my aunt is there. She don't know if nobody's home. She don't know if she's supposed to pull it or what. Next thing you know, I'm 8 years old. I'm in an ambulance headed up there. They pull it out, right? And they gave me a tetanus shot. But later that night, my leg was aching really, really bad. And my aunt, which was a nurse, she comes in and she tells my dad, she said, we got to get him to the hospital. Said, you see these red lines coming up?
Oh, you had
blood poisoning.
Erysipelas. Yes. That's
said, you see these red lines starting up his leg? If they get to his heart. And next thing I know, I was in the hospital 48 hours.
IV antibiotics.
Right.
Penicillin back in that day.
Probably.
That was back before
But-
dirt.
Hey,
Horse and buggy
but
days.
But serious, so
right.
I've experienced this, and those red lines were coming up my leg.
Well, if they clotted, you've still got some pigmentation where those veins were. If you look real carefully at your skin.
So
but we're not going to make you take your pants off and look at it.
42 year. I know.
All right.
Do I need to go to the ER?
All right, let's start with
You can say whether they need to or not. I'm not going to tell them.
All right. But first of all, I'm going to say that you don't ever want to go to the ER because it costs $1,000 if you can prevent going to the ER, right?
Okay.
Might even cost more than $1,000.
Yeah, but this was back before dirt. It was
Yeah, but I'm talking-
$29.99 when I went.
Yeah, I'm talking about this guy here. All right, let's get back to the immunization chart. Josh, you got it up? Second one, right behind the...
Tetanus.
Whoa, but read it real carefully.
With tetanus?
Tetanus, diphtheria,
Diphtheria.
pertussis. Okay, they call it a Tdap. Now, you remember we've had lots of discussions here about adult whooping cough, big epidemic 2 years ago out in Washington State. Remember we were talking about that? This is a recommended immunization. Look at this. Everybody between age 19 and the grave.
All right, but let me ask you a question, not to interrupt you. So, is this, when I say new, like, is this not an immunization that was on the recommended or required when I was 8?
Yeah, tetanus was, and when you were 8, they probably did not have the whooping cough one. Yes, they did.
And I'm interrupted a little bit. So when you go, why do they ask you when your last tetanus?
Because what it says next is, let's say there,
Every 10 years.
booster every 10 years.
Every 10 years. Okay, so that's why
All
you're
right.
always asked when
Okay.
you had your last.
All right. Now they were asking about the symptoms of tetanus. I always like to go to classical art, where they have in classical art made pictures of dwarfs or made pictures of people with a goiter. That's the classic symptom of tetanus in that beautiful picture made by a Dutch artist in the 1700s or 1600s. But you see how he's in muscle spasm,
Yes.
arms like this, back arched.
Feet
That's a
drawn.
really nice picture, isn't it? Isn't that pretty? Can they see the color? Is it real good color there? Yeah, okay, good. So when you talk about symptoms of tetanus, I talk about death. That's the historical symptom of tetanus. We're going to talk about our guy now. This is our guy next. He stepped on the nail, right?
Right.
Now, it's showing this virus going up to his brain, going up to the nerves that are in his body. Here's at the lower right-hand corner is a sort of a picture of how that thing looked. And if you look right there, he's got a facial grimace. So that is called, you remember what tetanus is called? Lockjaw.
Yeah.
Lockjaw. Remember that? Okay, so in this country, we describe tetanus as lockjaw. But in the rest of the world, in Europe, they think of tetanus as that posture of breathing like that. So now this is the guy stepping on the nail. Let's show the next one. That stepping on a nail is only a tiny part of the injuries that you get that can be associated with tetanus. Now, if that injury right there on that knee, you got the knee up there, if that doesn't look like every kid you've ever seen on the playground, or you've done 20-something innings of baseball in the last 2 days,
Yes.
there are probably 6 or more of those injuries that have occurred in the 2 days you've watched baseball
Absolutely.
on the field.
Yes.
Remember now that we had a big epidemic of MRSA in baseball players and football players in grammar school and high school here a few years ago, and that's the injury that would have given it to them. That injury also can give you tetanus. So, tetanus shots you have to have, the rules are you have to have it to get in kindergarten and first grade, unless you've got one of these anti-vaccine people who say, I'm not immunizing my kid against anything, like just look at the measles epidemic we got going on. So in truth, this guy should do nothing, assuming he's had his tetanus shot when he was in school, and as a construction worker, he should make sure that he has this Tdap immunization every 10 years. Well, if he goes to see Dr. Tidman or goes to see Dr. Pittman or any of the family practitioners around here, when you go in there for your visit, they give you a form that you're supposed to check off, and it asks you when you had the last one of those at your first visit. Well, from that point forward, if you said I had it when I was in high school and you're 40, they recommend right then, okay, you need to get a flu shot, you need to get the pneumonia shot. I'm not going to go back to here and show you the pneumonia shot, but you need a Tdap vaccine, and then their office and their system should tell you every decade to get it. Well, you don't get it unless you're regularly seeing your doc, right? If you can't afford it, then you go down to the health department here, and the health department will give you that shot, and they'll keep a record every 10 years at the cost of the shot. So I would tell you, this county right here is just growing like a weed. There's construction going on everywhere, and the construction is even going on in the pouring down rain. So I would say everybody in the construction business, if you can't remember you had a Tdap shot in the last 10 years, you go see your family practitioner and get that dadgum shot, because this is a deadly disease. Once you got that far along as lockjaw and you get to the hospital and they start treating you, all of them don't get well. Some of them dead. So this is, the symptoms of tetanus are dead. It's too late to worry about symptoms. This is a prevention disease. So the first question we had today was an active prevention of cancer. It prevents tons of them. Go get your vaccination. I didn't ask the questions. I just answer them. Well, second question is a preventable disease that people up here in the mountains are at risk for. People live on farms. They go out hunting in the woods all the time. They're doing construction everywhere, and all they got to do is every 10 years go get that shot.
Well, in my example earlier, one thing I left out, I'm pretty sure that's what, remembering back that long ago, that's what happened when I went to the ER. They gave me a tetanus shot, but what I was told later was the nail was rusty.
Oh, yeah.
And it was, that's why I got the blood poisoning from the rusting.
Yeah, and it had nothing to do with tetanus.
Right.
Absolutely nothing to do with tetanus.
So
and actually, it wasn't the rust. It's just a dirty nail, because a brand new clean nail right out of the box can have bacteria on it. And this is that thing where they MRSA. If that was today, that infection you had, instead of being strep, which it was a skin strep, could have been MRSA. Then you'd have been in the hospital for 2 weeks on fancier antibiotics. MRSA did not exist in your youth. Now, where did MRSA come from? It came from people giving too many antibiotics to people who didn't need them. So when somebody went to the doctor with a cold and they said, I got a cold, I need penicillin or something, and the busy doctor, just to get them out of the office, wrote the prescription for penicillin and gave it to them, and they had a staph, that staph became resistant to penicillin. What does MRSA mean? Methicillin resistant Staphylococcus aureus. That exists purely because people took too many antibiotics and allowed that bacteria to become resistant to a penicillin-like drug.
Well, at the very minute I read this question, I was thinking, hey, guy out there, I understand stepping on that nail. Actually, through construction, we used to step on nails, just pull them out of the bottom of the sneaker and keep back to work.
It could be everything else. I mean, any kind of abrasion.
I will say this out. Don't take this, Doc. What we used to do with construction. If you stepped on a nail, if I had somebody working for me, and they stepped on a nail, and they said, I just stepped on a nail. I said, pull it off, get your shoe off, see how bloody the sock is. I'll make a judgment.
Well,
how much blood's on the sock?
There's nothing to do for it right there, except
exactly.
It used to be in that day you'd put methylate or mercurochrome on it and keep it open so that it would heal. So anyway.
All right, again, we want to thank Georgia Cancer Research Center affiliated with Northside Hospital for this segment. So, Dr. Whaley, before we close today, what do you have that you've been researching or has come up as a highlight on the medical news out there?
Well, I got a low light on the medical news that came out. We were talking about vaping and so forth over the past few weeks. We were talking about the sort of freedom that adolescents have today to experiment with things. teenage overdoses, it's a headline in today's newspapers, have gone up dramatically in the last 1 year. They've gone up about 100%, 2 times, in adolescents below the age of 14. So we're not talking about teenagers breaking up at 17 or 18. It's gone up 300% in girls, 1.5% in boys, which raises the thing up to a little over 200%. But it's a real epidemic, and it seems to be increased in kids who are using pot, who are using tobacco, and who are into that business of the energy drinks, the tobacco, and the pot and stuff. I don't believe that one kid on the field or in the dugout or in the around there ushering people or selling hot dogs in the snack bar at the games you watched is in danger here. I really think that the participation in these activities that have these kids busy and they are going to perform, I think those kids are safe from the depression, the anxiety, the social isolation, and so forth that what do you call that, Facebook and all that stuff gives them.
Social media.
And it's those poor kids that aren't part of something, you know, and so they're smoking weed and they're on the internet and they get depressed. So anyway, the whole thing bothers me. And listening to y'all talk today about, so you probably watched 50 or 75 kids in the last few days, including the bench warmers and everything else, that are so busy they haven't got, you know, they're just tired. All they can do is go to school and study and play ball. They haven't got time to get in trouble. So that's one thing. The second one, go back to the measles business. People around here, I just had a colleague came back yesterday from a 6-day cruise, all tanned up and really happy, had a great cruise. Well, if they'd been on that cruise ship that's in St. Lucia, where would they be right now? They'd be quarantined in St. Lucia. Right. They'd be out 1,000 yards from the beach with an anchor in the ground and a whole cruise ship. Nobody can get off, nobody can get on, and they don't know when they're going to get to come back to the United States, because what's on that cruise ship? Measles. Wow.
Where was I at, Josh?
How many cases of measles, Josh?
Probably at the ball field.
How many cases of measles are on that ship? 1. 1 case of measles is on that ship. That whole ship. Now, they're quarantined by the St. Lucia Health Department. St. Lucia doesn't want measles to come on to St. Lucia Island. We've already got it in this country. So now, go back out to Orange County, California. On Saturday of last week, they had, I don't know what the movie was that came out last week that hundreds of millions of dollars raised. I mean, Star Wars.
Avengers, right?
What was it? Anyway, so there was a movie came out last week. Where's Orange County, California? L.A. So L.A., big movie town, right? One of those movie theaters that had the premiere of that movie last, I think it was on Saturday, had 4 or 5 or 6 showings. You imagine it full. And there were 2 active cases of measles in that theater. So everybody who was in the theater, either after after the first measles case there, is liable to measles. Well, when you buy your ticket, if you pay cash for it, they don't know who you are. If you pay with a credit card, they know who you are. So out there in Orange County now, you got all of these people in the public health department trying to get these credit card people and notify those, but they can't notify the people who bought it with cash. So they have sent out this huge advertisement. And if you were in this movie theater last Saturday, you shouldn't go to work, you shouldn't go to church, you shouldn't do this, because you may have been exposed to and be carried a measles virus. So once again, I'm back here to talk about vaccinations, y'all. Take the daggone measles shot.
You were almost done.
I know. I was
Why?
almost lost.
Why?
Either that or your cruise ship gets quarantined or you get out of the movie theater. So there, I'm finished now.
You know, you glossed totally over the fact that 8 years old, I was so amazing I could catch the ball. You glossed over that. I told you my story just went
Well, yeah,
right
but you
over.
said could it hit 400 because I thought what you were going to tell me was when the ball came off, you didn't know where it was coming off and you'd have hit it with the bat. That started with he could bat 400.
No, but I think I could still hit 400 in the big leagues. I'm your host, BKP.
Oh, talk about hallucinations and not being able to follow data.
That question's for next week.
All right.
Okay. I don't think I have the bat speed, but I'd like to keep here thinking I've got the bat speed. Ask the Doc with Dr. William Whaley. Want to thank Georgia Cancer Research Center affiliated with Northside Hospital. Also, folks, if you would like to ask the doctor a question, you send that to info@fetchernews.com. Put in the subject line, Ask the Doc. Again, age, male, female, some of the particulars, so he could zero in on the question, and also our social media. I know several of you. We apologize if we've overlooked them, but we've been really going through the Ask the Doc social media, and you have been putting some questions there, so we're looking for them there also. We're going to take a brief break. We're at Circuit World here in Blue Ridge, and when we get back, it's time for the All-Star Political Panel. Dr. Whaley, thank you very much.
Fun running.
Ace is your healthful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in LJ, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on-site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Do you feel like healthcare has become too impersonal?
3 times an hour, I'll get you in, I'll get you out.
At Lifetime Medical Center, you're more than a number. We get to know you, not just your medical issues. Dr. Alana Kent is board certified in family practice and offers same-day appointments. She and her staff treat conditions from minor to chronic issues. Lifetime Medical Center, convenient to Jasper and Blue Ridge.
This may sting a little.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart. And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart.
Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Circuit World, with multiple locations to serve you in Murphy and Franklin, North Carolina, Blairsville, Blue Ridge, and LJ, Georgia. Locally owned and operated since 1985. Appliances, electronics, and furniture. Name brand products like LG, Samsung, Dell, Whirlpool, Ashley, Catnapper, and more. No credit check, only 10% down on furniture, and only $10 down on any new lease purchase. Mention FYN10 for your special deal today at Circuit World.
Okay, folks, top of the third. And
Who's home team?
top of the third. We're not doing who's on first right now, Rick.
I dare y'all to work that up again.
I don't think my back will ever be the same.
I just had to do that. Dr. Wheelhead top. I don't know if I'm calling a game or not. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Folks, we're at Circuit World here in Blue Ridge. It's time for the All-Star Political Panel with Jane, Rick, and Bruce. That's the guy's name on the end, Bruce. Okay. Now, first of all, I got to talk to you a minute, okay?
Do we have to leave?
No, but we have to talk. Just a second, okay?
Should we talk among ourselves?
Would you let me? I want to talk to Jane in the audience. Listen, we did like 28 innings of baseball last night. I went home, and I just smelled the baseball. And I thought about not
I
even,
love baseball.
But see, I thought about not even taking a shower, wearing the same clothes, so you could feel it too this morning.
Oh, this is getting
wow,
weird.
was this a base? Were you at a base? So you would have said, well, you were at a baseball game last night, right? So, but I said, no, I better not do that. But
Good.
yeah, I'll tell you what.
Jane, I sat next to him for all those innings. Yeah, it was a tad game.
He says, so that's what you're calling smells like baseball?
I'm really happy you both took showers. Thank you.
All right, folks.
too.
Anyhow,
Me too.
let
God.
me just say this. Because, and we will get to politics. But we're excited right here in Fannin County. Elite Eight, right, Rick?
Elite Eight.
The Fannin Rebels 2019 baseball team has made it to the Elite Eight. They will be home next week, next Wednesday. We just finished 3 I am still trying to figure out, recently, obviously, is always the best baseball game in your mind. But when was the last time we had an opportunity to sit down for 3 games like that? That Redan and Fannin, they left everything on the field, did they not?
Yeah, they did. Let me tell you, you got to hand it to the fans too. They traveled 2+ hours
from Stone Mountain,
2 days in a row from Stone Mountain, and that's not an easy circuit if anybody knows. Traveling 285 and 75 that way.
Do they have Peach Pass?
I don't know if they did or not, but let me tell you, they made it. They were great folks. The kids. I talked to a couple of them walking from the bus to the ball field, and they couldn't have been finer gentlemen. They were polite. They were. I mean, that's just that's good coaching, good sportsmanship.
That's what sports do for
we
kids.
watched
Exactly.
3 very well coached games.
In one day now?
No.
2 days.
Okay,
Wednesday
2
night.
days.
Wednesday night was a doubleheader. The first game, Fannin won 5-1 in 7 innings. The second game, Redan won
in 11
7-6.
7-6
In
in
11
innings. We didn't get out of the park till 12:45 a.m.
So it was a doubleheader the first time.
Right, and then last night was the final game because it was a
rubber game
3-game
last night.
series. And Fannin won 4-3, and it was
Oh,
exciting.
how
was it not?
exciting. I wish I had
mean,
been
oh
there.
my gosh.
I'm going Wednesday.
Who do they play next?
Pike County. We'll
Pike
get
County,
there in a minute. What were you
out
saying,
of
Rick?
Barnesville. You know how you feel. You know when you played a lot of tennis. I've played a lot of tennis. You know how you when you win that first set, and then you lose the second set.
I know it well.
Let me tell you, don't you
That's
feel,
momentum. There is a real thing.
and that's what I thought was going to happen
Yeah.
last night in that ball game. I thought Redan was going to come in after winning that game in extra innings, 7-6. They were going to come in with the mo. But I really think that trip and the amount of time in between.
It's the
took a
bottom
toll.
line. They got home close. Had to
took
be
a
close
toll.
to 3 a.m. getting home.
Yeah.
Had to be back by 4.
They were,
And they're young guys, but at the same time. And before we
spent the night.
move on, another thing is, when you watch it sports today, I have to say this, bad attitudes, throw to bat. We had nothing. We had nothing.
There was no jawboning.
No, both coaches that contested
Nice.
the umpire. It's umpire. Both coaches, they did it in respect to come out, talk to the
Excellent.
umpires. Nobody got thrown out of
They
games.
didn't toll a little dirt?
And no, the kids, also, you could see the respect they had for each other.
Yeah.
Could you not?
That
You
is
mean each
so
team?
good.
Yes, both teams.
Mutual respect.
Mutual respect. They knew they were playing. And I talked to Coach Weish on the way out last night. I talked to him last night, Redan head coach, just a solid class act guy. And he said that. He said, they lost, but they're going home knowing that they left it, every bit of it there.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, guys. We don't mean to do the post game, but next
I
Wednesday
love it.
night, Pike County comes to town, Fannin County. Wednesday night doubleheader, game time, 5 o'clock, pregame with Rick and BKP, 4:30. So, right?
Yeah.
What are the respective records of these teams now?
Where did he come from? Respective records.
I think
you got the stats. You're the stat.
Pike is 26-11.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And
20
Fannin is
I can't remember.
You're the stats guy.
20
I'm not carrying that.
24-12.
So
works for me.
Yeah, works
Something
for
like
me
that?
too.
Roughly, okay.
Yeah.
So I
and
call Rick-
Pike County's supposed to be ranked in the state. Like
they're way up in the state.
25 or
Yeah.
29, something like that.
And this is class 13.
Oh, really?
Whoa.
3A.
Oh wow.
This is 3A.
And
This
in
is
Georgia, there's 6.
6 or 7.
Six.
Is it 6A? Go up to 6A.
6A
This
is the top,
3A.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
3A state championship. And, I called Rick Rick and I got an opportunity to, I'm going to tell this because Rick and I got an opportunity to sit there at a doubleheader, and then last night worked that game together. So I'm driving home last night. I called Rick and I said, now I need to know, are you in next Wednesday? He said, really? Really? You called to ask me that? So the Redan fans were amazing. They supported their team. And I was telling the coach last night, you want to, you can't ask for anything more than your fans to support these kids and travel like that. And they packed that visitor side, did they not?
They did.
So and we'll get to politics, but on Wednesday night, one of the pitchers, and I mean, we're in the 9th or 10th inning, and I'm gone. I'm spent. I don't know what I'm saying. So I asked him the name, and I got he's on the mound. He says Lamback.
Lamback.
Yeah, Lamback on the mound. So I'm saying Lamback on the hill right now for the Redan, and not even 30 seconds there. Rick, what's his name again? Because so his mother gets there last night, right? And they were great. She comes right up to me and she said, my baby boy's name is Lamback. She said, my baby boy's name is Lamback. And I said, okay. And I said, are you upset? She said, no. I went home last night. And she said, I watched it today. She said, but you were getting to where you kept asking that guy, what's that guy's name on the hill? So I said, ma'am, Lamback. And then, so he goes to pitch again. So she's sitting down there, and I looked at her, and I said, and all the fans gave me a thumbs up. So I looked at her, and I said, can I say now on the hill, Mama's baby boy? And she said, say it. They all. So I did. Now on the hill, Mama's baby boy, Lamback. But we had fun, did we not?
We did.
Okay, let's. That's a great segue. Having fun into impeachment fever up in Washington D.C. Now they want to impeach Barr. I've been out of pocket. I've been watching as much as I could, and I did watch a lot of the highlights. Jane, did you get a chance to watch any of that?
Yeah, I watched all of it.
Well, then go.
More like low lights.
All of it.
Low lights, okay.
I started, though I didn't start until 1, and I looked at
Just
all.
don't get a little snippy or whatever. Snitty, yeah.
I'll have one of my staff
Yeah.
take care of that.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, let me tell you what just the outtake for me of that whole day. There are many things, of course, but this is very serious, and I'd like people, especially if you're on the white hat side, if you're on the Republican side, to think about this. And if you didn't happen to see those questionings,
let me just say this real quick. What we're talking about is this past Wednesday, Attorney General William Barr testified in front of the Senate Judiciary Committee, and that's what we're talking about.
Right, sorry. So it was an atrocity, but Kamala Harris, Cory Booker, and that woman from Hawaii, Kamoli Moli.
Maisie Rono.
Let me tell you,
she is just despicable.
It was so despicable, and it was unbelievable. So they go into their tirades, and there's no question in this. But here's the takeaway. Guys, when you're talking with people who are the people that are for the Republicans, you're talking to the Democrats. Here's what you need to say to them. You need to say, if you did not hear that questioning, you go on YouTube and you listen to it. Because if those guys get in power, that's how they're going to treat you. You will have no rights. You will not be able to answer any questions. If they are that way to an attorney general, what do you think they're going to do with you? They're not going to care if you're Democrat. They are going to act that way. That's who they are. And if they can be that disrespectful and haughty, you cannot elect those people again. And so, guys, go out, talk to everyone, look at that, because
what you're saying is, if that Senate Judiciary Committee would have been Democrat.
The Democrats on the.
No, if the Democrats would have the majority.
I'm saying that if they get it, get president. I mean, if they win 2020, if they are in 2020,
I mean,
and
fortunately,
they're in
Lindsey
power.
Graham. I still have to pinch myself when I say fortunate Lindsey Graham, right? But fortunately, Lindsey Graham is chairing that committee, and he set. I think what I heard, he set Kamala Harris.
He set
Hawaii
down.
He said, if you want more of that, you're not getting it. But my point, I may not be making it clearly enough, is that if they are in power, that's how they are. That's how they look at everyone.
Exactly.
Everyone is a peon, even the Attorney General. They have no respect.
No.
And the Republicans are respectful. They say what they mean, but they say it in a way that's respectful. But these people are beyond the pale with their disrespect.
I'm convinced that the whole thing is contrived, and they sit in a room and they decide who's going to go after. And
there's an email chain or something that they all.
Let's not gloss over Harris, Kamala Harris, Cory Booker, and Amy Klobuchar on that committee are all three running for office, and we're trying to get sound bites.
Right, exactly.
Right.
That was the point I was trying to make. But they get, they take the females, Klobuchar, Kamala Harris,
And
Maisie,
Maisie.
and those are the ones that are really, really digging hard because they feel that they're not going to come back after them because they're
Gender
women.
inequality.
Because of the gender. I swear to God, that's why.
Well, let me just say,
and Blumenthal obviously is a woman.
Whoa.
well, let me say this, okay? As far as the Attorney General Barr, Congressman Doug Collins said on our show last week when he was on, I asked him that question on how Barr has been treated, and he says, well, the Democrats just don't recognize what an attorney general looks like, and they just don't recognize a real attorney general. Jane, we have our reservations about some of these people. I mean, still to this day, we have our theories on what happened with Lindsey Graham. Still to this day, we're thinking, okay, Barr, because both of you, when Barr was first appointed, right?
Thought about that all day yesterday.
Yeah.
But I tell you what,
he's right up to the money.
He is solid, and he is not taking their nonsense, and he is not.
But you hear some of the criticism. They're saying, "Oh, well, he had to sit and think about it, and he had to hem and haw and buy
That's
time."
what smart people do. Think about what they say before they speak.
Yeah, but I mean,
Well,
they
he
took that as like guilty.
Oh,
He knew what the real
unbelievable.
reason he was there for. They were trying to trap him into
Yeah.
line to Congress.
Exactly. They wanted
Line
to
to the
trap
committee.
Right. They wanted to trap him. Go ahead.
Here's another thought. What was so infuriating that there was never a question, and when there was, it was, do you think this? Well, I'm asking, they wouldn't let him answer even when they asked a question, but there weren't many questions. And so
They get 5 minutes. And
they were
I'm
trying,
moving on.
they wanted to get
You
his,
wouldn't even let him answer.
yeah. As many times, they wanted to put that in everyone's head. That they didn't care if he answered.
Well, they
just
get
wanted
5
to get
minutes.
that out.
They get 5 minutes, and they just make a 4.5-minute speech.
Yeah.
With no question, and then in the last 30 seconds, they throw 2 or 3 things out. That's a yes or no, sir. That was a yes or no, sir. And that was. Can you not say yes? Oh.
But listen to the validity of Cory Booker's question. Do you think we should be proud of that? I mean, what an asinine question to end. You said we should be thankful. Do you think we should be thankful? I mean, what a 6th grade question.
Let me say this like this because I want to know what you guys think. We're talking about the Attorney General William Barr, and actually this week, now even Nancy Pelosi, they're saying we need to impeach the Attorney General. Okay, I mean really, but let's say this. Okay, so William Barr sitting at home, and he was Attorney General in the way back, but he's sitting at home. He has a successful career, so the guy is not wondering how to get his kids through college financially. Right? I mean, he should be sitting at home. He's not worrying if he's got enough money to get through the next day.
No, he did very well in private industry.
Absolutely.
Comcast.
So he didn't have to come out. I get tired of saying he auditioned for this job. He auditioned. Remember, you keep hearing he didn't have to leave the study. He's got the books. He's got the mahogany.
That's right.
He's got the good cigars. I'm still smoking cheap ones, right? He didn't have to leave that. The good chair, read a book. But he did. Is it possible in this crazy world we're living in that he did it because there's wrong and right?
Yes, exactly right. I believe that man is by the book.
Is that what you think?
I do. And
early on,
he was a Bushite. I can't.
Yeah, he was.
Well, no, you know what I like is you guys both. I like this because you,
Barr,
especially you two, you guys both. We'll tell everybody out there when he was appointed, you had to keep him here. You had him here. Right? We never know with you. It's these two are very clear, Bruce. You were back and forth, but no, the both of you had him out here, right? And so have you? Do you? That's what I'm saying. I keep thinking, is he just saying there's right and wrong, and this is wrong?
Not only that, I mean, he and Mueller are best friends. Their families have been best friends for years. That's out of his mouth. I believe that he knows the whole story. Trump's told him the whole story, the things we don't even know. And I believe he is, I believe he is disgusted with Mueller. I believe that he is absolutely disappointed.
Well, the whole
It's
progression of events.
right, and it's so obvious. It's so obvious.
All right, we all know this costed $35 million or whatever, and we all know, whether the media wants to tell the American people, but we all know that it was about 60 days.
Yeah.
That Robert Mueller should have walked into the Department of Justice and said, you know what, it's not right to spend $35 million of taxpayers' money knowing we're not going anywhere. Go ahead, Bruce.
But, I mean, if he should have done that 60 days in, okay, now he did his 2 years, he spent the $35 million. He supposedly is going to be in front of one of the committees mid-May. What's that going to do to the whole narrative?
All right, they're negotiating that. We're
alive.
negotiating that because I try not to get upset. I really do. I say it like that because I watch Morning Joe and I watch Mink and I watch CNN, and then I found out the only rating CNN has is me watching. They've collapsed.
They are in the tank.
Right? Yeah, you read that article this week?
It's such a good
But
sign,
that being
though.
said,
It's a good sign.
Bruce, you're 100% right. And what bothers me is they will not give the actual legal details. Trump could have said, I'm ending this anytime. Trump did not have to beg Don McGahn to do something. They will never tell you that. Now, the one thing they're not telling you is they'll lead you to believe things, but right now, until he's released, Mueller is still under the Department of Justice.
I thought he was released. I thought that's
No,
what
no,
Mueller said.
no, not
Mueller
yet.
said when he gave, Barr said when he gave, Mueller gave Barr the report, his job was over.
It's yes.
But that doesn't
no.
mean-
But you know, let's just say it like this. I don't know the details, but I'll throw it out there because I think I'm in the area. So his job was over. You're not going any further here. Now what we need to do is you just need to take the next 6 months, file all your paperwork, put all your stuff. It's done, but he's wrapping up. And until he wraps up, the DOJ has not released him. Okay? He's done.
I got it.
You got it?
So he can't testify.
Right. The DOJ has to say he can testify. Whether they like it or not, we actually like these follow the rules kind of things in life. He can't.
Well, the article that came out this morning was that they were negotiating directly with the Mueller camp.
Right. Now they're trying to jump over the DOJ, go straight to Mueller.
Right.
It's not right.
Right.
Okay, that's Barr's call right now.
If you look at that 400 and some page report, it was obvious, like Bruce said, after 2-3 months, and you can look at the timeline in the report. After 2-3 months, Mueller knew there was no collusion, so they spent the rest of the time, the next
Through the
20
midterms,
months, going and trying to find obstruction.
Stalling.
Well, let's go back like I've always said, and I said on this show last week before last, I said on my show during the week, you can't have obstruction if you don't have the investigation. So, it's like AD and BC, okay? Before here, there's no obstruction. Here, there's obstruction.
Did you hear Hillary?
ACDC?
So I said something. Trust me, if I say something out there, bring me back in. It's no telling.
Did you hear Hillary? Hillary was on one side of whomever, and Bill was on the other, and Hillary said, I think we just need to send Barr back to law school. You said, we need to just give him he needs a remedial course in law. And I can't believe what I'm hearing, and I'm thinking, they're talking obstruction, collusion, whatever, and everyone knows they smashed the Blackberries with a hammer.
That's when we all learned about bleach.
We all
Bit.
know that. Bleach Bit's probably buy their stock. Did you buy their stock?
She should have never had on
I mean, no. And
she deleted or
that
did
is
or
out
whatever.
in the open.
Now that's coming,
That's
folks.
Well,
out
going
in the
back
open.
with what I said about Barr, is there a
It's coming.
possibility that he believes in righting wrong? Because here's what I think really got Barr interested in this. Our Attorney General is our Constitution and our founding fathers set things up intended to let whoever wins the presidency, whoever legitimately wins the presidency of the United States, can be president.
And the Electoral College.
But can be president and fulfill the duties of the presidency. and Barr sees in black and white, Trump won whether you like him or not. Trump might be a billionaire and got a comb over and whatever. Trump might like some Playboy bunnies. Trump might do this. Trump might do that. I'm serious as could be with Barr. You know, you could throw all this stuff at me, but constitutionally, according to the Founding Fathers, he ran, filed the paperwork to run. He won the states. The Electoral College voted him in. And in no way does anybody have a right, no matter who it is, to say you can't fulfill the duties of the office of the presidency.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the reality is we all know that there has been a coup determined not to let him fulfill the duties of the office of the president. Do you agree or disagree, Bruce?
I agree.
I mean, I'm thinking, not knowing William Barr, I'm thinking that's as simple as can be.
You know how calm he was. I mean, I know inside he was, but he was just great. His expression was like, I'm in charge.
It never changed.
I'm this is the answer. If they interrupted him, he just like that.
He was so stoic.
But you know, the one time that he got a little piped up I saw was when he finally said, it is time to stop using the Department of Justice as a political tool.
Yeah.
You remember that part? And he said that
He
with
laid
some
the law.
firmness.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk
that
about
was
this
good.
just a second. The letter. Supposedly,
Oh,
you know,
Jesus,
don't you
Moses.
love how on Monday Mueller's God, on Tuesday he's not,
Oh,
on
yeah.
Wednesday he's back to God. So Wednesday Mueller was back to holy status, right? And he sent this letter. Now, let's see, did the letter leak to the Washington Post and make it out? And they are actually running with this letter and this report. And he brings the letter. What did he say?
Gee,
He
what
said
difference did it make?
how'd the letter come across?
The letter was totally misconstrued
I
by
understand, but
everybody.
And
What
they
did-
wouldn't
what did-
allow Barr, and he
What did
would
Barr's call
explain
it?
it.
He said it sounded a little. What was that word?
Snippy.
So
Snitty.
he said,
Snitty.
I love this guy.
And
He
he
says
was-
it sounded a little snippy, and he probably had one of his lower level associates write it. And said, I thought that was great.
I did too.
Rush said it was the best word in the entire day.
Who?
Rush said it was snitty. It was
Snippy?
snitty.
I love
Oh,
that.
and-
So,
and-
yeah, all right.
P or with a T?
I think it was
But
Snippy
anyhow-
with a T.
Yeah.
But anyhow, this letter, and now Barr lied to Congress. You know, if we didn't have any lying, we wouldn't have a politician in Washington, D.C.
Really?
Barr lied to Congress. Let's move to the House. I call him the bullfrog, Nadler, Jerry Nadler.
That's a nice name.
Chair, yeah, you ever look at it?
There's some worse names I thought of.
Okay, so he is the chair of the House Judiciary
He's stupid.
Committee.
He's dumb.
He was not. Barr was scheduled to testify yesterday. He did not go. He would not go to the sit down in front of him. So they did the show. They put his name on the table. They gavelled the meeting in. You can come on back through here, guys. You can come on back through here. They gavelled the meeting in, okay? And Nadler did his big announcement of, what, this is a disgrace, and, our democracy's always crumbling. I mean, I hope I get home before I get hit by a crumbling democracy. All right? So,
Chicken
without
Little.
getting hit, right? So, and then, I recommend everybody go watch Doug Collins' 6 Minutes.
I did.
Did you?
Immediately.
It was good, was
It
it
was
not?
brilliant.
I called Jane
Whoa.
yesterday and I asked.
Bam.
I said, "Go
I
ask."
missed that.
Because I talked to Congressman Collins last week. What do I keep saying? They say they don't want to impeach, but that's what they're doing. They're doing it now.
It's already underway.
Right? It's underway.
They're
It's underway.
setting
The parallels are
Yeah.
just amazing.
The building.
And
block.
where I'm going with that is your House Judiciary Committee, folks, is where impeachment starts. That's where you have impeachment hearings, okay? Now, when you get to hearings, okay, an actual trial, an impeachment trial, then the House members, okay, look this up when you get time, the House members then, the committee members, then will bring in attorneys to do questioning, okay? That is in the trial. That's what'll happen. They'll have legal counsel come in and question when they're doing the impeachment trial. That's what Nadler tried to do.
Exactly.
So he tried to say we're not impeaching, but he tried to run Barr's hearing as an impeachment trial. Agree?
Agree, totally.
If it's not announced, can it be used?
bring
Can
the
it be
staffers
considered as one in the future if this had played out? Because it's not. This is an impeachment trial. I'm wondering about
well,
that.
Collins said that. Collins said, basically, you
Yeah,
try. That's
he
what
did
he
say
said. It's an
that.
impeachment trial. Remember, he said you want. I forget how he did it, but
Not officially, but
it wasn't officially, but they were trying to do it that
they
way.
were.
But he also said, I think it was Doug, that never once in 206 years
Exactly.
Right.
has there
Exactly.
ever been any
Ever.
staffer brought in to like
Right.
question anyone from the government.
The
Exactly.
rules are that
No
the
precedent.
people
And what
that
did-
are elected.
What did Doug say?
the
I hate to call him
questioning.
Doug. I apologize, Congressman. But what did he say? He said, if you want to question somebody, one of our witnesses, run for Congress.
Right, I love that.
Run for Congress.
Get a
man.
pen and get on a
get
committee.
Pen and get a congressional pen, get on a committee. And
40% of our lawyers anyway. You think
Congress.
they could-
Exactly.
They could form a question.
But what they wanted to
That's-
do,
they're
what they
too dumb to do.
wanted to do is they wanted to bring in, they wanted their 5 minutes. The House did because they get 5 minutes. They wanted their 5 minutes, and then after that, they wanted a whole hour or something
Everybody was to
Bring their
donate all
counsel.
their time.
to a legal counsel.
Exactly.
And then after that, they wanted a behind closed doors.
Really? I didn't
Yeah,
know.
they wanted a private behind closed doors
Grilling.
of Barr on the redacted part of the right. And what did Collins say? You want to go behind closed? Do you know? I don't know now, but do you know as of Wednesday, 2 members, all this.
3 now.
It's 3 now.
Yeah.
But as of
McConnell-
Wednesday.
McConnell's gone.
But Wednesday, when the House, when the Senate, you only had 2. There's 3.
Yeah, but
McConnell
Doug,
said he was
Lindsey,
going.
And McConnell
Said
Right.
Barr was going?
No.
I did miss
All right,
this
let me
part.
let me set it up because I just jumped into it. Okay, we have the redacted 400 and some pages, right? We've got the redacted
90%.
area. Okay,
Unredacted.
every one of them were crying, "What? We must see it. The American people must see it. Everybody must see it." Right? As of Wednesday, only 2 read the
Right.
full report, unredacted
You go
report.
to the room.
Doug Collins, our congressman, and Lindsey Graham.
Can I
Only
touch it in a
2.
little bit more detail?
Go for it. Kick it off to you. This is like play-by-play.
Yeah. Bill Barr gave permission, the DOJ gave permission for 12 members.
6 and
6
6.
Republicans, 6 Democrats.
Absolutely.
We discussed it at the House yesterday. I looked it up. 12, 6 and 6. It was made available to them when they were on break,
Exactly.
and it was made available to them only if they came in one of those
skiff room.
Skiff room.
skiff room. No recording devices, no cell phones. They could go in and read it.
Right. That's
2
what,
people
2.
took the time when they were on break to come in and read that. Now, Bruce said since then there's been one more.
Well, the other day when I read that article that you're talking about, Mitch McConnell said he was on his way. So what you're saying is he's done that now.
He did it.
Doug Collins left Georgia, flew to Washington,
Absolutely.
went in the room, took the time to read it. At that time, he was the only one. Then Lindsey Graham did it. And prior to McConnell, only 2 people. Nobody.
But they're
from
all
the-
saving the democracy.
Nobody from the Democrat
Rick,
side.
but they're
With
saving
that
our
attitude.
democracy. You can't tell me that they didn't fly back those 6 Democrats, because you're right. They gave 6 Republicans, which 2 of them went back. Congress was in recess. They flew back, read this. There's 6. Are you telling me those 6 Democrats didn't take the opportunity to save our
Unbelievable.
Let's
democracy?
throw the hypocrite word out again. They
It's
sit there saying
big.
we need to see it.
Right.
Well, it's available to you. Go see it.
Right. And that,
But that wasn't the narrative, and that wasn't the memo.
Exactly.
So,
right. So they can't get off of their pre-planned narrative
Right.
that they've done. They cannot get off it. Even if
Right.
I said these guys are the epitome of blind, deaf, and dumb. Blind. We need to know this. This letter said that. We need to know everything. We need to see it. And Barr said, well, here it is.
Yeah.
I mean, here it is.
What
That's
part of this don't
blind.
you understand?
Deaf. They asked him in, I don't know how many times they said, you did not do what Mueller wanted. Mueller said this and that. And Barr said, no. Mueller didn't say that. I mean, he said this. They're deaf. They can't hear the answer, and they ask the same question with the same answer. And dumb is self-explanatory.
You and I were talking yesterday. And I brought this up because, folks, I do watch every morning. I watch this morning, and I only do it because I believe I have no other way to call it, because I believe we're in a war, civil war in this country, and I believe the media is the enemy. I just have to tell you that.
Fox is getting pretty.
Exactly. They're carrying
the
flag. Deep state. Hashtag deep state media. And so I do watch CNN and I do watch MSNBC in the morning. Now, I don't know how this sounds, but I believe we got to tell the truth. CNN went in the tank. They're totally in the tank on ratings. But MSNBC carries a little ratings. I mean, they're under Fox, obviously, but they still have some. They've gone down, but they still have some viewers. Okay, and I watched
in
them.
The 8 o'clock hour. In the 8 o'clock hour, Rachel Madcow.
Madcow, okay. You mean they're not watching Hardball with Chris Matthews, and they're not watching They're not watching Little Chrissy Hayes. You mean they're not?
Let me tell you, the guy at 11 that used to be on NBC, he's the one that's got the worst ratings known to man. What's his name again? Brian Williams.
Lion Brian.
Brian. He broke in. Did
not
you
me.
see him
not
break
me.
in?
He is in the toilet.
All right. So
yeah, he is. He's in the.
So yesterday I was saying, because I watched them and I was building this up. I called Jane. We were talking, and let's just say this. So you're corrupt. Well, relax. You're corrupt and you know it, right? They know it. They're corrupt. So you're corrupt and you know it. Now here comes the people that are going to highlight you're corrupt. What do? You yell back at those people, no, you're corrupt.
You try to discredit
as loud as you can.
That's Stalin.
Right?
That's the socialist and.
You understand what I'm saying?
That's their mantra.
Now,
that's
if you
one
will,
of their
and
plans.
where I'm going, if you will watch all this media, it's very upsetting that good people like William Barr, they're yelling how corrupt he is. Like, oh, we have a corrupt AG.
In the pocket of Trump.
But they're yelling it back as loud as they can. You follow what I'm saying? Yeah. I want to take a whole different direction right now. I want to say, where do you think that's going? But we have more time. Here's a subject we don't talk about here, because it's not going to show up in polling. Jane sent me a video this past week, and it's 29 minutes, and it was worth the 29 minutes. I sat on the porch, pulled out a cigar, man. I watched the video.
Wasn't it great?
I'm going to tell you, is it Candace Owens? Is that her name?
Yeah.
But anyhow, what the media does not want you to know out there is the minority support that Donald Trump has is going through the roof. Now, this video focused on black voters and black young conservatives, right? Mm-hmm. But the focus on the growth he has with the Latinos, I'll tell you what, they want you to believe that every young person in the United States is just brain dead, all right? There's a lot of young people that like Trump. They like this guy. So tell me a little bit about that video, how you found it, and just some of the things in that you watched, because it's very good. And tell people how they can find you. Remember the name?
No, I don't. But what I do is, usually in the morning, I go to YouTube and I like the way that there's compilations of news. So I saw about 2 weeks ago when Candace Owens was in testifying or making
right.
And I mean, she just
lit it up.
They did not get to her. She was thinking just like that, and I thought, I want to hear more of this woman. I want to hear more of what she says. So then I just searched for Candace, and that's how I found that. So I'm following her more, because she's really brilliant. So that's how you find. You got to sit. People think YouTube is all the moon's flat and the world's. We didn't.
No, I forget the name. I forget the name of.
It's not. Did anyone get that?
Wait. Yeah. That's why I'm trying to go right by it. Okay. But no. Let me say this. Look. India is going. They said India was going to land on the moon within the next couple weeks, or out in the desert in
One of the two, for
Arizona.
sure.
So let's go. Move away from moon landing. Cut. Cut. All right, Candace Owens.
Take two.
Take two. No, what I liked about that is the things the media will not show you. I don't know the name of the group, folks. They're black
But we'll
young
find
black
it. Yes,
conservatives.
I think it is young
But
black
how about when
conservatives.
they're in the East Room and the president comes in? They love it, right? Trump goes. That was amazing. Trump goes, and here is an entire room of just very intelligent, black young Americans that are just excited, and they said, we're conservatives, and what I liked what they're saying. They're saying, "Make America Great Again" belongs to us too, right?
That's
it
the
belongs
whole
to us too.
Yeah.
Didn't you love the word, the phrase that Trump threw out there when he came out? Hey, what do you got to lose?
They finished it. Remember,
What do you got
the
to
whole
lose?
room. I mean, it looks like there's about 200 in the room. These young people, and Trump says, "You remember the campaign?" I said, "What do you got?" And he didn't even get the "What do you got?" And the whole room broke out to lose. It was
And then
really
the race
good.
baiter Al Sharpton
Well,
denigrated the whole exercise.
Well, that's what I was going to get to, is because if you don't stay on the plantation, and that's just the bottom line, if
right.
you do not stay on the Democrat plantation, they are so nasty to these bright young, and they're bright young conservatives.
That's why they know what's
They're just,
going on.
Well, you think what they got to do going back into the communities and like,
They're gonna
wearing
take the
MAGA
heat.
hats or espousing.
Yeah, they are
a
taking the heat.
Republican.
It is growing in the inner. Believe it or not, even in the inner cities, it's not. It's growing, because one thing in 2020, and the reason I bring it up is one thing in 2020. If you go back to 2016, and the media does not like to talk about this, Trump got more of this kind of vote than McCain or Romney. He got more black vote, Trump did. He got more of the Latino. He got more of the minority vote than McCain or, and I'll tell you, we go to, not to go down a rabbit trail, but you look at, no, seriously, when Mitt Romney was...
Rabbit hole.
I go down a trail first, then I get to the hole. Whatever it is, leave the poor rabbit out of it, okay? But no, but what I'm saying is when Mitt Romney ran, okay, you can go look this up on YouTube, Google, whatever. In the city of Philadelphia, Romney didn't get one vote.
Right.
Really?
One, right, Rick?
Not one.
Not
so you
one.
can't,
In the county,
in the whole city.
in the county that Philadelphia resides in, he didn't get one vote.
One vote.
You
Mitt
don't
Romney.
think that something is a little crooked?
Yeah, you can't tell me that somebody just didn't accidentally push Romney, But no, not one. Trump came out of there, and that's why that night, Pennsylvania, they knew Pennsylvania was a winner. They just didn't want to announce it because Trump did comparable to what Republicans do. He did enormously great in Philadelphia. Now, it wasn't through the roof, but, what he come out there at 11, 12% if you look at it or whatever,
Yeah, he
right?
didn't win much.
Right, but still yet, he brought votes out of Philly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
right? So they don't want to talk about that. I appreciate that video. Candace Owens, go
Right.
look it up. It's 29 minutes. She's got a lot of great stuff, but I want to thank you for sending
Somehow we
that
can
over.
put a link on Fetcher.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've got
I'll
the
find
video
it.
from you,
Yeah.
and I've already got it. That's the one. Let me switch one more gear.
Or you can go that way.
You can
It's Blexit, right? Isn't it something Blexit?
Blexit, yes.
Yeah,
But I want to go. I want to
Blexit.
go one more direction here, and so then we have our time because we're pushing 9:30, and we got our pet of the week coming in. Venezuela, okay.
That was on my list.
And here's the interesting thing to me, and I always look for, and including Fox, I always look for what they're not talking about. If I watch something, I will actually write down what I did not hear.
That's interesting.
Knowing they didn't want me to know this. So
They didn't want to
in
touch it.
2012, okay, I read a BBC article the other day. In 2012, Venezuela banned all citizens from having weapons, okay? And the only people that could have a weapon in Venezuela in 2012 was the military, the police, and certain security companies. That's it. You could not have a weapon in 2012. Okay, the uprising in Venezuela, this socialized country that's failed, number one, has shown us here in America we should you know what? The Second Amendment is not so you can have some damn shotgun to shoot a deer. Okay, it's to bear arms and to be prepared. And it was Thomas Jefferson that said, defend ourselves against the government. The government, right?
Yes, sir.
So the government, it's in Venezuela. They took their guns. They want to take your guns. They will if they can. And you're watching it. And why is the uprising taking so long in Venezuela? Because you don't do very well when your only option is rocks.
Rocks and knives.
Right. And what did we see this week? And then I'm going to give it to you. What did we see this week? We saw an actual, remember Tiananmen Square? We'll always remember that, right? The tank. Yeah. What did we see this week in Venezuela? We saw a tank run over a crowd.
Right through.
Personnel carrier.
So to me, every time they say that the Second Amendment and we want to take your guns, and one of these Democrats come up and say, oh, well, I hunt too. Well, the people in Venezuela would like to have a shotgun to hunt so they could eat. At least they could kill the meal.
Yeah, there was a time in there too when the government declared that you could have a weapon, but they owned it.
Right.
Really?
Yes.
And they had the right to come and get it anytime they wanted to. And one thing that is glaringly missing, I believe, in this whole narrative is that, do you know what the Third Amendment is?
No, not off the top of my head.
You know what the Third Amendment is?
I know. I go first, second, and fourth.
Let me tell you, it ties just like that to Venezuela, and it ties just like that to the Second Amendment. It requires, it does not, it says, militia shall not have the right to come into your home.
Right.
During peacetime or
Which
any
is what
time.
they're doing.
To take
Even in America.
take your property, anything like that. That Third Amendment is so overlooked. They say, well, that's not needed anymore.
I agree 100%. By the way, remember when you got here today?
That's what the government could do to come in. They could come into your home.
Absolutely.
And take your weapon. And that's what a lot of people are afraid of. One day, if the Democrats get in power, they're going to start knocking at the door, the black hats, and they're going to say, give me your guns. Third Amendment,
and if you
folks,
don't, they'll
read it.
shoot you.
You know, when we got here, I told him
That's exactly right.
I told him I was tired and no test. What's he do? He throws out a test.
Yeah, test.
But Rick, you're 100% right. The Third Amendment, absolutely. I mean, most of us, we go real quick with the First Amendment, freedom of speech, and then we go into the Second Amendment, and then we go into the Fourth Amendment with our privacy and search and seizure and all that stuff.
I'm telling you,
but
that Third
you're
Amendment
100% right.
I'm going to go read that at word for word.
Extremely important when it comes to gun confiscation.
But my question to all of you, are you hearing anybody, as we watch the media talk about Venezuela, are you really hearing this is what happens to a socialized country that takes all your guns? Are you hearing that in the media?
I do now and then, because I only watch Fox.
But not much.
But
there was a guy on CNN or MSNBC who was reporting from there, and he basically said, well, you have to remember the citizens here haven't had guns for 4 years.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And he goes, hello.
Right, exactly. I wonder if we talked that, hey, they're moving the TVs out.
When you say what's going on.
I hope they don't sell this couch up for under Circuit World.
What you're saying is what has gone on to get to here, not just what's...
The Venezuelan people...
Pierce Faulkner had a big... they do it. Just what's going on
It's from here
today.
to here that we should be paying attention.
That's
and
true.
I tell you what, it's from here to here that our schools should be sitting down and saying, you know what, wipe out the curriculum. Don't change, that's the best I can get. Wipe that out, because this semester we're going to focus on Venezuela, and we're going to go from where they were, okay, and we're going to go to the fact that they can't find food, cannot find food. Yep. Grocery stores are empty. We're going to go to the fact that the poor people are drinking. A lot of them are drinking sewer water. They are. I hate to even say it, but that's disgusting. They're drinking that. I've looked at the pictures of where there's no medication in the pharmacy. They can't even get, Tylenol.
It's
so there's
sitting
your
on a truck on the other side of the border.
Left, of course,
no, it's sitting on a truck from humanitarian, right?
Exactly.
From who? Us. Right? So they can't get food. So there's your socialized medicine. Here is your Meals on Wheels from Bernie Sanders. They don't have any anymore. They got their socialized medicine. I'm watching hospitals where dialysis patients are dying. They're dying. Dialysis patients are dying. People are actually dying in the hospital. Okay.
And the far left said this is all being pushed by the U.S. as they
thank you. I was getting ready to say that's all their guns, everything like that. Bruce, tell them again. What's the far left saying?
Well, they're saying that this all goes back to the big oil days. They're the ones who raped the environment and created all this thing from 20 years ago, when Venezuela was one of the wealthiest nations in South America
and one of the largest oil producers.
Yeah, and the U.S. oil majors are all behind this. They're trying to get their hooks back into the oil industry, which has been nationalized under Chavez. So. It's all organized by the U.S. to get back in there and take over a South American country.
Well, I think it's a perfect example of every single thing we're trying to show people in this country. And then what's his name, Francis, Beto O'Rourke throws out $5 trillion for the Green Deal, for climate change, and all right. So let me exactly.
Yeah, we lost 2 years on our existence too.
Exactly.
Under Beto, we're dying after 10, not 12 like AOC said.
Lost 2 years.
We lost 2 years.
While you were
said, all we got's 10, folks. Not
while you were sleeping last. Francis can't get 20 kids at a college to show up.
He went to Vegas and had 36 people.
And actually,
I mean, a picture of Bernie in a downtown thing. He had 60 people.
Well, I've been looking at Biden's, and they're always tight shots, and all the people are surrounded.
He looks sick.
He sounds sick. Oh, China, they're not going to hurt us.
He slurred through 28 minutes the other day in Allegheny County. You think I can't pronounce things?
He can't even read the prompter properly.
I think he's got some medical issues.
And I'll say, go.
Levin last night. I don't know if anybody heard
I love
Levin.
it. I tape it. I'll see it.
Yeah, I was coming back from the ball game, and I was listening to Mark Levin, and he did 20 minutes on what the media is not telling you about Biden, and that is that his handlers are taking pictures of the reporters, and they're making notes, and they're not allowing him to be questioned by anything that's not pre-approved.
He's right.
They showed him.
He's right, because I'm going to tell you what. Let me tell you where I learned that. Okay, and these are the same. No, these are the same people. They run all the same campaigns. And it was the most expensive congressional campaign, John Ossoff, because I went to two.
Oh yeah.
I went to two things Ossoff was at. And
set it up for the viewers. Ossoff ran against Karen
Handel in the 6th district here,
6th district
but it was the
Georgia.
Most expensive. The DCCC, they sent all their people, all their money to try to win. But what I'm getting at is Levin's right, because everything, it was almost like, obviously Biden's got Secret Service, but everything I wanted to try to ask, okay, they would not let me anywhere close to him.
No.
Nowhere close.
No, the handlers
right.
They literally said, we've got pictures of the handlers getting in between Biden
Absolutely.
And the questioners, and they're putting their hands on the camera.
Exactly.
They will not. They had to sneak him in through a Jimmy John's
right.
to get him into a controlled environment where everybody was pre-programmed as to what they're going to ask him.
Well, I'm going to tell you this right now.
That guy's done.
He is. And is he going to make it as their front runner? Now,
he
jokingly.
Might. Hopefully.
All right,
yes.
when he went out to Pittsburgh, and I don't want to go down that road, and we'll have plenty of time, but when he went out to Pittsburgh for the firefighters union, whatever.
Right.
Okay, obviously they gave out the T-shirts, right? They gave out the T-shirts. They set the room up. I'm going to say maybe there was 1,500, maybe there was, but it's an invite. Bruce, let's just go with it anyway, okay? But they set the room up. They invite the people. They pay the people to come. They do. They pay them to come and participate. They pay them to hold this. And Biden goes out there like he's having the biggest rally in the world. There will be nobody put 10, 12, 15,000 people, 30,000 people. Trump goes to Green Bay, Wisconsin. And here's the thing they're not talking about is, see, what Trump does, what the campaign does, is you go online and they're free, but you sign up for tickets. And really what they're doing is just grabbing all your information, and they say this is awesome because all these rallies that he's having, there's 70,000 people signing up for tickets. They got all the information.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And now, in those areas, they got 70,000 people, because I think 70,000 people signed up. They had, the owner said in Green Bay, Wisconsin, the largest crowd ever, beat Elton John, okay?
Even more than a Packers game.
Right. No. But he beat Elton John, the whole list, and it's amazing. And the senator from Wisconsin say people love him more there now than they did. Remember I talked about the timber industry up in Minnesota? And I went on the show this week and I read 2 articles on is it iron ore? The mines?
Yeah.
The mines in Minnesota are up. Timber is up. He's got a boost in Minnesota that they don't want to talk about. So anyway, I've got there. I'm sorry I got off the rails on that one, but it's time now. That's okay. No problem, man. It's time now for winners and losers, or jump shots and foul balls, or whatever you've been calling it. I'll catch
Start
on.
with Jane. I'll go last today, if I may.
I'll start with
Yeah,
Jim.
I've just got a statement. I heard a report that in World War II that the Japanese, I don't know if it's the general or the
No, it was the emperor.
someone said we cannot attack the American
right
soil.
after Pearl Harbor.
Okay.
That's
yeah,
right.
we can't attack the mainland of the USA, because if we do, every person and their uncle is going to be behind a tree with a gun.
Exactly.
And
there'll be a gun behind
remember
every blade
that.
of grass.
Every blade of grass, there'll be a gun. I'm saying,
That's
is
great.
that what we need to put on a poster? Of course,
Way to
now,
go, Jane.
There's even more parts.
Way to go. Pull it out, baby.
know.
That was good. That was
That's
good.
exactly right. There'll be
I
a gun
like
behind
that.
every blade of
Yeah.
grass. My winner of the week is going to be Doug Collins. I mean, Doug Collins just knocked it out of the park. I thought, as you would say, knock it out of the park.
Home run?
he's
Yeah,
on fire.
He had a home run, and my loser of the week is going to be Maisie Hirono.
Hard to
My
choose,
loser
but
of
you
my
picked
loser
her.
of the year is Maisie Hirono. For what she said in that congressional hearing.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, she read that, 3.5 minute,
Diatribe.
Yeah, and
You
then
know
like,
what's going on
my
here.
home run guy, Mark Levin, talking about Chris Wallace. Chris Wallace is kind of slapping around Fox News that some of the opinion people on there with this whole letter and everything aren't dealing with
Some of the
facts.
people even on our network.
Yeah, aren't dealing with facts, and the facts are.
We deal with facts
Mueller
here.
was upset with the way it was being handled. Well,
Was
Mark
it? Didn't
Levin
Wallace say we deal with facts here?
Yeah, Mark
Yeah.
Levin came out and says, "Chris, you make no sense at all," and that's a fact.
I love.
He's amazing.
And my airball is this idiot down in Alabama, John Rogers, opposed to the new abortion bill, said you either kill them now or
Oh
kill them
God, I
later.
read that.
Oh, I
He
read
says they
that.
come in unwanted, unloved, and then eventually you send them to the electric chair.
So kill
This
them
is
now.
A black legislator from Alabama.
He should be.
And Donald
impeached.
Trump Jr., said this guy is just, off the rails. And he came back and he said about Donald Trump Jr., he said, well, this is proof that women should have the right to abort. Because he's stupid and he's maybe retarded.
Wow.
All right.
All right, folks. I usually do not
That's just
end this segment with a winner and loser of my own. I really don't go that direction. But I'm going to do it the same way. I'm going to start with my loser. So the winner is the upside of our close. My loser is, I think, Time Magazine.
Oh, man.
The cover on Time Magazine is Mayor Pete and his husband or wife. I don't know who is who there, but it's called the First Partner. But they're Mayor Pete, the First Family, and all of the media, regardless of who they are. Look, okay, whether you like it or not, I want the right to decide what I think is normal, what I think is acceptable, what I think is okay, not okay. I just want to continue to have that right. I'm not being negative on anybody or treating anybody bad, and I'm not participating in any hate crimes. But I get so tired of what Hollywood has done throughout these years, the media has done, Ellen, damn it, I'm sorry, did I say that? All of you out there, and now Time Magazine trying to tell me what I'm okay with.
Yeah, right.
No, folks, okay? And my winner is, I wasn't around at World War II, say it like that, okay? I'm just saying.
We almost
But
were.
through this country, if you look, My winner is the Fannin and Redan team, both. Because if you look at this country in our history and in the times of turmoil and things going on in our history, we needed a unifier. We really did, right? And we go back and we look like how many times has baseball been a unifying moment in this country? And I got to say both these teams are winners, because if you would have been up at the ballpark this last week with these two teams and watched everything that Rick and I got and Josh got an opportunity to watch, just a unifying, not a bad word, not a bad moment. We didn't look at each other's politics. We didn't see how anybody votes, anything like that. We just come together and everybody was one and we enjoyed the game.
To put it a little bit more bluntly, we had one solid white team.
Exactly.
And one solid black team. And it was like it was colorless out there.
Thank you. I thank you. I mean, yes, Rick. It was. He's right. I mean, you know, Redan was I think 12 African American players. Fannin County 12 white young men, and everybody had respect for each other on the field. The coaches had respect. The fans had respect. Nothing. Zero. Right.
How about the announcers?
We were the most.
Oh, I got my new friends, and I will have to say, listen, two of the guys over at Redan, right? They said to me, well, last night, so I'm wrapping up. They come up to me and I said, now I do a morning show, right? And this is exactly what I said. I do a morning show Monday through Friday, all right, at 8 a.m. But I'm going to tell you right now, okay? If you decide to tune in, when you step into the box, you better be ready for what I'm pitching, baby. I said, because let me tell you something. You never know where I'm coming from. The guys were cracking up. They wrote it down. What is it? And I told them, fyntv.com. So I guess I better say hello to the new viewers out in Redan, because we got a new audience. But both of them, I said, you need to know. I can get a little controversial. Never know what pitch I'm throwing. So before you step in that box, you need to know. Hey, are all of our new fans and friends out in Redan, hello. Thank you, Rick. Thank you, guys. This was good this morning. Really enjoyed it.
Petey's here.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say, oh my gosh, Humane Society of Blue Ridge right after these messages.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart. And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart.
Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Circuit World, with multiple locations to serve you in Murphy and Franklin, North Carolina, Blairsville, Blue Ridge, and Ellijay, Georgia. Locally owned and operated since 1985. Appliances, electronics, and furniture. Name brand products like LG, Samsung, Dell, Whirlpool, Ashley, Catnapper, and more. No credit check, only 10% down on furniture, and only $10 down on any new lease purchase. Mention FYN10 for your special deal today at Circuit World.
Ace is your healthful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in Ellijay, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Do you feel like healthcare has become too impersonal?
8 times an hour, I'll get you in, I'll get you out.
At Lifetime Medical Center, you're more than a number. We get to know you, not just your medical issues. Dr. Alana Kent is board certified in family practice and offers same-day appointments. She and her staff treat conditions from minor to chronic issues. Lifetime Medical Center, convenient to Jasper and Blue Ridge.
This may sting a little.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Hey folks, we're back and it's now time for our Pet of the Week from the Humane Society of Blue Ridge. Rena, who do we have here?
This is Oscar.
Oscar, come here.
Oscar's about 2.5 years old. Someone tied him up to the doors of a business
Oscar.
at an animal hospital. And,
don't tell me the story.
I know. And we were able to take him, which I'm very glad. He is such a great dog. He loves his person. He loves to ride in the car. He would jump up here if we'd let him. He'll give kisses.
Oh, Oscar.
He goes outside,
Oscar.
but he's an inside dog, definitely. He just goes outside to do his business and wants to be with his person all the time. He is such a loving dog, and as you can tell, he's a calm dog. He's strong, but he walks very well on a leash, unless there might be, I don't know, a scent, but I didn't have any trouble today, and I've never had any trouble with him. He is just a really great dog. Of course, we don't know breed. The terrier, maybe some lab. They've always got the spots.
Oscar, you know, I always write a song for the pooches. And I could work with Oscar. I think I could write some songs for Oscar.
But breed's not as important as personality, and his personality is the best.
Folks, Oscar is at the Humane Society of Blue Ridge. And Rena, now you say he's about 2 years old.
About 2.5.
About 2.5.
Yeah, almost 2.5.
And how long has he been with you? And you probably told us, but now I'm
No, he's
focusing.
probably been with us 6 months, 7 months.
Okay.
I didn't double check that one, but he's
what
ready to go, up to date on shots.
What about family, kids, other dogs?
Kids, definitely. Dogs, he does like some. There's some he doesn't care for, so definitely we would do our meet and greet. But kids, definitely. I mean, he just loves being with his humans. He did have a meet and greet with another dog, and it went very well. There were some other issues that happened for why he was not adopted. But, no, we can't get on this couch. But as you can tell, he will get on the couch with you and watch TV. Sit down, baby.
Okay, folks, the reason we asked that question is because the Humane Society of Blue Ridge does an outstanding job. You guys are just amazing out there of every dog that comes in, trying to pair them up with the right family, their human, the right one.
Right.
And that being said, is they have companion dogs out there that make perfect companions. They have dogs out there that make perfect family pets with children. They know what they're doing. They can make a recommendation if a dog will fit in with another dog or other pets in the house.
Yes.
And so on. So you guys do a great job. I don't say that enough out there, what you guys do with that, but you got to do a meet and greet so that way, because what we try to do is find them their forever home one time only.
One time, yes.
Right? Because it's hard on the pets if they come back.
Yes, and if you have kids, bring them with you so that they can see if this is also a dog that they would like to take care of, be responsible for, play with, and just love.
Well, every week I take all the dogs, and you tell me up front, and I want to clear this up with the audience out there, and I pull on them a little bit, because what happens if you have children, mom and dad's not always around.
Right.
And the little ones might pull on the dog, and you're not around.
Right.
Okay? And, right or wrong, we all see we call them the funny videos of the little baby pulling the dog across the kitchen floor with the tail. And some dogs are just fine with that, and some are not.
Yes. Yeah.
So that's why we need to bring the kids.
Yeah, he's neither here nor there with that. As you can tell, I've got all these toys, and, he's just like, well, whatever. I just want to be with my person, really. And like I said, if I'd let him up here, he'd jump up here. You want a treat? No?
Folks, Oscar is available at the Humane Society of Blue Ridge. You can find the Humane Society of Blue Ridge on Facebook. Okay? You can find them there, and you can also find them humanesocietyofblueridge.org. Did I get that correct? And they have also cats and dogs.
Yeah, we have a couple puppies. I think I had one here last. I had Zebo here, I think.
Yes.
I forget. Maybe it was Miley. I don't remember. Anyway.
Absolutely beautiful cats.
Cats
dogs,
and kittens, dogs, puppies, really active dogs, really laid back. Let me sit on the couch with your dogs, all kinds of dogs. So come by and visit us. 171 Mineral Springs Road, which is just off of Aska. We're open Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 10 to 5, and Saturday is 10 to 2. We are closed Tuesdays and Sundays.
Also, folks, they have an intake program where every pet that comes in, every one that comes, cat, dog comes in, goes through an intake program to where they guarantee you when you leave, your pet is chipped, disease-free, and ready to take home, correct?
That's correct.
So, and that's when you put them in the general population, and those are the ones available to adopt.
That's correct.
If you adopt a puppy, it's actually you are fostering to adopt. I'm getting all this right there.
You are, yeah.
Fostering to adopt.
Until they're spayed or neutered.
Right. So again, Humane Society of Blue Ridge, the Facebook page, you can find them there, and also humanesocietyofblueridge.org. I always thank you every week for bringing these beautiful new friends that I have. I leave with a new friend, and I also go home every Friday with my dog saying, "Where have you been?"
That's right.
Where have you been? So anyhow, I'm your host, BKP. We're at Circuit World here at Blue Ridge. I don't want to forget this, because in our last segment when we do winners and losers, JR gave me this. His winner today is Riley Howell. She's the UNC student that jumped on the gunman. So, JR, we got that in. That's JR's winner. And my winner to take me home here right now is Big Oscar and the Humane Society of Blue Ridge. We're going to be back Monday morning at 8 a.m. on FYNTV.com. Take us out of here, Josh.